I'm Claudette Barnes, and I love connecting with various people in our community to find out your thoughts and concerns in terms of COVID-19. And I reached out to Pam Parsons, and Pam is the MHA for Harbour, Grace, Portagrave. And here's what she had to say about what her constituents have been asking her.
Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of calls, of course, and a lot of emails, a lot of messages through social media. People are very concerned. They're wondering ultimately about their health situation, about the actual COVID situation itself, about, cover, clean, contain, etc. But also there's a financial worry here as well, especially for people who have no choice but to stay home from work because those are orders given by their employer. And so, there are a lot of concerns, a lot of questions coming in. We do have two numbers, actually, that, as you know, employment insurance is a federal jurisdiction. It's federal government service. And there are two numbers that are available for people to call. And that's 1-800-206-7218. That's apparently the regular number that people can call. But with regards to the COVID situation, there is a special number for that at 1-833-381-2725. That number is made available by our federal MPs. I encourage people also with pertaining to EI, if you're not having success getting through, certainly contact your Member of Parliament. I know, for example, Yvonne Jones has taken great leadership here and provided a lot of information on her own personal social media. So that's something we can do in the way of the EI questions.
Can you give us any examples of what people have been saying in terms of their fears? Are they running out of supplies, for instance?
I'm not hearing that anybody is, but as you know, there is a frenzy out there. People have been stocking up on items such as toilet paper. So we are seeing that. I've seen that here locally in our stores and grocery stores here in the Bay Roberts and Conception Bay North area, Carbonear as well. So people are certainly preparing and they're gathering supplies, and we're hearing that across the province. That's something that people are doing. But for the most part, people are calm as well. I'm confident that we can get through this as a province. And ultimately, by staying calm and following the directions that are given by our healthcare professionals.
How do you feel? You're supposed to, of course, be around your constituents, but due to social distancing, has it been hard?
Well, absolutely. That's a big part of the job of being an MHA. You're around a lot of people. There's a lot of events that typically go on, during the week. But a number of those events, all of those events, are now postponed. And I'd like to commend the organizations here in the district. For example, we were gearing up for our annual Fish Harvesters Weekend. That's hosted by the Pentecostal community here in Portagrave, but they have taken measures to postpone, of course, for the safety of everyone. And we're hearing that across the board. People are canceling these and postponing these events, and rightfully so.
You mentioned people are starting to stockpile, and I know you were at a meeting recently with Atlantic Grocery Distributors.
Yes, I met yesterday. Atlantic Grocery Distributors, they're located here in my district, in the town of Bay Roberts. They're the largest distributor in the province to independent businesses and whatnot. But I'm very confident in their ability. We had a great meeting yesterday, productive, to keep those lines of communication open. I've also put them in touch directly with the Premier to make sure that we have, like I said, those lines of communications open and to have that plan in place. Because, as you know, we're an island here, and we have to take every measure, to do what we can to make sure that everybody gets fed. But I am confident in the Atlantic Grocery Distributors here in Bay Roberts. We've been relying on them for many years. And as I said, we had a great productive meeting yesterday, and I do know they had a good conversation with the Premier.
Are they concerned about supply at all?
No, they're taking proactive measures. And I commend them for that. Even protecting their staff. Like yesterday, when I was there for a meeting, they said to me, "You're the first person who is not employed here to come up over the stairs into the office." So they're doing everything they can to protect their staff. And they're taking proactive measures. So I commend them, and let me tell you, it certainly provides peace of mind knowing that they're on the ball and they're taking the initiative to make sure everything is in line.
Now, you mentioned earlier on a few phone numbers for some of your constituents to call if they're having any concerns. At what point should they just reach out to you?
Well, they are reaching out to me and my office. We are available. We are not doing any in-person appointments until further notice, and that's, of course, an order that's recommended by the Corporate Member Services in the House Assembly and all public offices across the board for government. So we're halting those in-person walk-in appointments, if you will. But we are available. My constituency office, we are there. The number to call is 786-1372. Also, people can email me, pamparsons@gov.nl.ca. And I will certainly do everything I can to help and to find the information, that people are looking for. So, and we have daily conference calls with our government caucus for updates for each department. And so that line of communication is open. We're consistently communicating as a government team. I also want to commend the Premier. We're really seeing some stability at this time, and I want to commend the Premier on the all-party approach here. We see the Leader of the Opposition, Alison Coffin, as well as Ches Crosby. They're all approaching this as a team, as an all-party approach, and I believe that is the best thing to do because, let's face it, none of this is about politics. It's time, politics take a back seat for now, and we have to step up and work as an entire team to take care of the people here of Newfoundland and Labrador, and that's what's happening, and I certainly commend that.
Just want to circle back before you go to the meeting you had with Atlantic Grocery Distributors because they service over 2,000 food service and retail operations, and just curious if you could allay the fears of your constituents who are concerned as they stockpile. Have you heard anything about possible delays with food distribution, for instance?
Well, no, and that's what that meeting was about yesterday. It was to get, to be proactive and, to get things in place, to get a plan in place so we can avoid that happening. As I said, I'm confident in their ability, and I know I put them directly in touch and communication with the Premier of the province. That's at the highest office. And so I am confident that they're doing all they can and taking the measures to get things in place so we don't face a situation like so. So I commend them for their proactive thinking and their action.
Well, MHA for Harbour, Grace and Portagrave, Pam Parsons, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us today.
Thank you, and take care. And of course, I want to send a message out to everyone across our province. Let's do everything we can to take care of ourselves and each other. And I'm confident we will get through this.